The day the aliens arrived changed everything. Dr. Alan Carter was working alone in his lab at Hawking Research Base on Mars when the strange lights appeared outside his window. At first, he thought it was a dust storm, but dust storms didn't glow blue and green. Dust storms didn't hover in place either. Alan pressed the emergency button under his desk. No one answered. He was truly alone with whatever waited outside. "Base security, please respond," he said into his radio. Only static answered him. The lights grew brighter, and a soft humming filled the air. Alan's heart raced, but his scientist's mind remained curious. He grabbed a camera and started recording. A doorway appeared in the wall where no door had been before. Alan stepped back, grabbing a metal tool from his workbench. It wasn't much of a weapon, but it made him feel better. Through the doorway stepped a being unlike anything Alan had ever seen. It stood nearly 7 feet tall with pale blue skin that seemed to shimmer. Its 4 arms moved with grace, and its large eyes, completely black without pupils, stared at Alan with what seemed like shock. "You survive here," the alien said in broken English. Alan lowered his makeshift weapon. "Yes, I'm Dr. Alan Carter of Earth." More aliens appeared behind the first one. They spoke quickly in a musical language Alan couldn't understand. They seemed agitated, pointing at Alan and at the instruments that monitored Mars' environment. The first alien touched a device on its wrist, and suddenly Alan could understand them. "Impossible. This planet is nearly Class 10, and he says he's from Earth, a Class 13. Must be a mistake in our records." "No mistake. Earth matches all criteria for Class 13 designation." Alan cleared his throat. "Excuse me, what's this class system you're talking about?" The lead alien turned to him. "I am High Counselor Taxer of the Galactic Confederation. We classify planets based on habitability. Class 1 is perfect. Class 5 is challenging. Class 10 is barely survivable with technology. Class 13 is what we call a death world. No sentient species has ever evolved past Class 8. Alan laughed. "Well, I guess we're special then." Within hours, ships from Earth arrived at Mars. Commander Lyra Voss of the United Earth Space Command took charge of the situation. She was smart, tough, and not easily impressed, perfect for humanity's first diplomatic meeting with aliens. The aliens requested a meeting with Earth's leaders. They brought holographic displays showing their confederation, hundreds of peaceful species living across the galaxy. "Your world should not be possible," Taxer told the human delegation. "Your gravity is crushing. Your atmospheric pressure is extreme. Your temperature ranges from freezing to boiling. Your world is filled with bacteria and viruses that would kill most sentient life. Your radiation levels alone should prevent advanced life." Lyra smiled. "Yet here we are." The aliens shared more information. Earth was not just unusual, it was unique. Humans had evolved to withstand conditions that would kill any other known intelligent species. What humans considered normal would be torture for most galactic citizens. "We invite humanity to join the Confederation," Taxer said, "but with certain safeguards." Lyra read the proposed agreement and frowned. "These restrictions apply only to humans. No other species faces these limitations on military development or space exploration." Taxer's forehands moved nervously. "Your species evolved in conditions that create certain traits we find concerning." "You mean we're tough," Lyra said. "We mean you're dangerous," another alien replied. As the humans and aliens continued their talks, neither side fully understood what this meeting truly meant. The aliens didn't understand that humans were even more adaptable than they feared, and the humans didn't yet know why the aliens had really come. Far away, at the edge of known space, a war was raging, and the peaceful Confederation was losing badly. They needed soldiers who could survive conditions that would kill normal species. They needed humans. They just didn't know what they were getting themselves into. Samantha Reeves didn't trust the aliens. As an intelligence officer working with the diplomatic team, something about their story didn't add up. Why would such an advanced civilization suddenly appear and offer friendship to humans? Why did they seem both afraid of and interested in humans at the same time? They're hiding something, she told Greg Martinez as they sat in the secure room on the alien ship. Greg was a xenolinguist, someone who studied alien languages. He nodded as he looked through the files the aliens had shared. "These translation errors are too convenient," Greg said. "It's like they're deliberately keeping certain information from us." Samantha had convinced Greg to help her access the ship's main computer. It was risky. If caught, they could damage the new relationship between humans and aliens. But Samantha believed humans deserved to know the truth. Late that night, while most of the ship slept, they'd made their move. Greg used his knowledge of alien language patterns to bypass the security system. Samantha, with her training in computer systems, navigated through the alien database. "I found something," she whispered. On the screen, a massive collection of classified files appeared. Greg quickly attached a translation device. What they discovered shocked them both. The aliens, the Xenorians, and their allies in the Galactic Confederation were at war. A powerful group called the Drevix Hegemony was attacking worlds at the edge of Confederation space. The peaceful Confederation species were losing badly. "Look at this," Greg said, pointing to a file labeled Earth Monitoring. The file revealed that aliens had been watching Earth for hundreds of years. They had observed human wars, disasters, plagues, and recoveries. They had watched as humans lived in deserts, jungles, Arctic regions, and mountains. The aliens were amazed and terrified by what they saw. One report stated, "Humans can survive injuries that would kill any known species. They continue fighting even when severely wounded. Their immune systems can adapt to new diseases within days. They can endure extreme temperatures, radiation, and gravity changes that would be fatal to Confederation citizens." Another report was even more disturbing. "Humans possess psychological traits unique among intelligent species. They actively seek danger for enjoyment. They willingly risk death for abstract concepts like honor and country. They train specifically for combat situations. No other known species deliberately prepares for violence." Samantha and Greg looked at each other. Now they understood. "They don't want our friendship," Samantha said. "They want soldiers." The final piece of evidence was a video recording of a Confederation Council meeting. High Counselor Taxer was speaking to other alien leaders. "The humans are dangerous, yes," Taxer said in the recording. "Their home planet has shaped them into natural warriors. They can survive in environments that would kill our strongest soldiers. But we need this advantage if we are to survive the Drevix. We must recruit the humans while controlling their expansion. Once the war is won, we can address the human problem." Greg's face went pale. "They're planning to use us and then contain us." Samantha quickly copied all the files to a secure device. "We need to tell our leaders about this." As they prepared to leave, alarms suddenly blared throughout the ship. Red lights flashed in the corridors. "Did they catch us?" Greg asked, fear in his voice. But it wasn't about them. Through the ship's windows, they saw a massive vessel appear from nowhere. Its design was unlike the elegant Xenorian ships. This one was black and spiky, built for war. A voice came over the ship's communication system. "Attention, Confederation vessel. This is Commander Kraz of the Drevix Hegemony. Surrender immediately." The peaceful aliens panicked. Their ship had minimal weapons and defenses. They weren't prepared for a direct attack. Samantha grabbed Greg's arm. "Looks like we're about to meet the enemy sooner than expected." The Drevix ship opened fire. The human-alien first contact had just become much more complicated. The Drevix attack changed everything. When the alien warship opened fire on the Confederation vessel, it was the humans on board who acted first. While the Xenorians panicked, the small group of Earth military personnel took control of the situation. Samantha Reeves and Greg Martinez shared what they had discovered with Commander Lyra Voss just before the attack. Now, as the ship shook from enemy fire, Lyra made a quick decision. "Get me to your weapons control," she ordered Taxer. The alien hesitated. "Our weapons are minimal. We are a diplomatic vessel." "Then get me to your communication system," Lyra said. Using the alien technology, Lyra sent a message to the nearby human research vessel. Within minutes, the small but well-armed Earth ship arrived and placed itself between the Confederation vessel and the Drevix attacker. "This is Earth Vessel Dakota," came the message from the human ship's captain. "We have you targeted and will defend our diplomatic team. Withdraw immediately." The Drevix ship, not expecting resistance, retreated. But the message was clear. The war had found them. Back on Earth, President Eleanor Mitchell called an emergency meeting with the Confederation representatives. Samantha and Greg presented the evidence they had discovered about the aliens' true intentions. "So you need soldiers," President Mitchell said directly to Taxer. "You should have just asked." Taxer's four hands moved nervously. "We feared your reaction. No species has ever evolved on a Class 13 world before. Your natural abilities make you concerning." President Mitchell smiled. "Let me offer you a deal. A real one, with all cards on the table. We will help you fight the Drevix, but in return, we want full membership in your confederation. No restrictions, equal treatment, and full access to your technology." The aliens had no choice. They agreed. Within weeks, Captain Frank Delgado was selected to lead the first human military unit into space. His team included 12 of Earth's finest soldiers, men and women from different military branches, who would train with alien technology and prepare for combat against the Drevix. The training took place on a Confederation space station. The aliens had created what they considered extreme conditions to prepare the humans. But what the aliens saw as deadly, the humans found merely uncomfortable. "Is this supposed to be hard?" asked Sergeant Olivia Patel as she completed an obstacle course in high gravity. The alien instructor looked shocked. For his species, the gravity level would have crushed his bones. "This is set to twice your Earth gravity," the instructor said. Olivia shrugged. "I've trained with heavier weights than this." In another training room, Keith Warner was learning to fly alien ships in a simulator. The program threw disaster after disaster at him. System failures, attacks, extreme weather conditions. Keith not only survived each scenario, but seemed to enjoy the challenge. "Your people find pleasure in danger?" asked the confused alien instructor. "We call it adrenaline," Keith explained. "It's fun." The most surprising moment came during medical training. Nathan Bishop cut his arm during an exercise, a deep wound that exposed muscle. The alien medics rushed to him, expecting him to be incapacitated. "It's just a scratch," Nathan said, allowing them to clean and bandage it. "I can still train." "This would disable most species for days," the alien doctor said. "How can you function?" "Human bodies are built to keep going," Nathan explained. As the training progressed, the aliens watched in growing amazement and fear. Humans could go without sleep for days. They could ignore pain that would paralyze other species. They could adapt to new situations quickly. And most disturbing to the peaceful Confederation species, humans understood warfare instinctively. They evolved on a world where everything was trying to kill them. One alien scientist explained to Taxer, "Their bodies and minds expect danger at all times." Taxer watched the training sessions with mixed feelings. "We needed warriors," he said quietly. "I fear we may have found monsters." What Taxer didn't know was that the real test was yet to come. The Drevix were planning their first major attack, and the humans were eager to show what they could really do. The planet Xeris Prime glowed blue-green beneath them as the human team prepared for their first real mission. For months, Confederation forces had been stuck here, unable to push back the Drevix invaders who had taken control of the main continent. "This is the situation," Captain Frank Delgado told his team as they gathered around the holographic map. "The Drevix have set up their base here, in this valley. The Confederation troops can't get close because of the jungle terrain and the Drevix detection systems. Lieutenant Diana Wright studied the map carefully. What's so dangerous about this jungle? The alien officer, Commander Ziv, looked surprised by the question. The gravity is 1.3 times Earth standard. The air contains toxic spores that cause respiratory failure in most species. The temperature reaches 100 degrees with 90% humidity. No Confederation species can survive there for more than an hour, even with protective gear. Diana and the other humans exchanged glances. Those conditions sounded like a tropical rainforest on Earth, uncomfortable but far from deadly. "We'll go through the jungle," Diana said. "My team can map the Drevix positions without being detected." The aliens protested, but Captain Delgado supported Diana's plan. "This is why you recruited us," he reminded them. That night, Diana led a team of 4 humans into the jungle. They wore light-breathing masks to filter the spores, but otherwise, their equipment was minimal. They moved quietly through the dense vegetation, the heavy gravity only slightly slowing them down. "The humidity is worse than Florida in August," whispered Sergeant Olivia Patel, wiping sweat from her forehead. "But it's not that bad." They reached a ridge overlooking the Drevix base after 6 hours of hiking. Diana used special cameras to record the enemy positions. What they saw surprised them. The dreaded Drevix, the terror of the galaxy, were smaller than humans. They had thin bodies with 4 arms like the Xenorians, but with gray skin and large eyes adapted for low light. They moved quickly but seemed to need frequent rest periods. "They don't look that tough," Keith Warner said quietly. Diana pointed to their weapons. "Those are sonic disruptors and nerve agents. One hit would kill most Confederation species instantly. Their advantage is technology, not physical strength." After mapping the entire base, the team returned through the jungle. When they walked back into the Confederation camp the next morning, the aliens stared at them in disbelief. "You survived?" Commander Ziv asked. "And you mapped their entire base?" "Impossible." Captain Delgado studied the information Diana's team had collected. "Now we can plan our attack," he said. The plan was simple but effective. While the Confederation forces created a distraction at the main entrance to the Drevix base, the human team would attack from the jungle side, where the Drevix never expected enemies to come from. The battle began at dawn. The human team moved swiftly through the jungle, each carrying weapons that combined Earth military tactics with Confederation technology. When they reached the edge of the Drevix base, they attacked. What followed shocked even the humans. The Drevix, facing human soldiers for the first time, were completely unprepared. Their weapons were designed to kill the fragile Confederation species, not the more robust humans. Many of their sonic weapons caused pain but didn't stop the human advance. Their nerve agents, deadly to most species, only slowed the humans down. Nathan Bishop was hit by a Drevix weapon that should have killed him instantly. Instead, he fell to one knee, injected himself with an antidote developed by human doctors, and kept fighting. The Drevix soldier who shot him froze in shock, unable to believe what it was seeing. When the battle ended 2 hours later, the Drevix base was under human control. Hundreds of enemy soldiers had been captured. The humans had suffered injuries, but no deaths. Commander Ziv looked at the human team with new eyes, with fear and respect mixed together. "You fought through weapons designed to kill instantly," he said. "You continued despite injuries that would destroy most beings. What kind of species are you?" Captain Delgado cleaned a cut on his arm. "We're humans," he said simply. "This is what we do." Across the galaxy, news of the human victory spread. The Drevix leaders called an emergency meeting. They had just discovered a terrible truth. There was a species in the galaxy more dangerous than they were. News of the human victory on Xeris Prime spread quickly through the galaxy. On the Confederation capital world of Lumina, the Council of Species held an emergency meeting. The elegant chamber was filled with representatives from hundreds of worlds, all talking excitedly about the humans. "They are too dangerous," said the representative from Trilari. a species known for their analytical minds. We should limit their involvement in the war effort. Without them, we will lose to the Draviks, argued another alien. Do you prefer certain defeat to uncertain allies? The debate continued for hours. Many species feared the humans almost as much as they feared the Draviks. Others saw humans as their only hope for survival. Meanwhile, Dr. Eliza Bradley, a human scientist, had been granted access to the Confederation Historical Archives. What she discovered changed everything humans thought they knew about the galaxy. Most intelligent species evolved in perfect environments. She explained to Samantha Reeves over a secure communication link. Stable climates, few predators, limited competition for resources. Their bodies never needed to develop the defenses that humans have. So they're fragile because they never faced hardship? Samantha asked. Exactly, Eliza said. They never experienced the harsh natural selection that shaped humanity. Our ancestors survived ice ages, droughts, plagues, predators, and wars. Each challenge made our species stronger. The screen showed images of alien homeworlds, beautiful, peaceful planets with perfect weather and abundant resources. None of them had Earth's deadly mix of predators, diseases, natural disasters, and extreme environments. As Dr. Bradley continued her research, a new human ship arrived at the Confederation Fleet headquarters. The UES Intrepid was Earth's first true battleship designed with alien technology. Admiral Henry Rodriguez stood proudly on the bridge as the massive vessel approached the Confederation station. Their ships are breaking apart, said an officer, pointing to the readings. The station's structural integrity is failing. It's our engine vibrations, Rodriguez realized. Their technology isn't built to withstand the stress. He quickly ordered the engines powered down to minimal levels. When Rodriguez met with the Confederation fleet commanders, they stared at him in shock. Human ships were designed differently from anything in the galaxy. While alien vessels were elegant and advanced, human ships were built with thick walls, backup systems, and heavy shielding. Why so many redundant systems? Asked the Confederation admiral. Because things break in combat, Rodriguez explained. We need our ships to keep working even when damaged. The concept was new to the aliens. Their ships were designed to avoid damage, not survive it. If hit, they expected their vessels to be destroyed. Your approach to war is unique, the alien admiral said carefully. While the humans impressed the Confederation, they also terrified the Draviks. Intercepted communications revealed that the Draviks' high command had called the humans evolved predators and made destroying them their top priority. They fear us more than the Confederation, Captain Delgado told his team. They recognize what we are. The Draviks shifted their strategy, focusing their attacks on human positions. Their propaganda called humans monsters and abominations that threatened all civilized life in the galaxy. Meanwhile, tensions were growing within the Confederation itself. Some species wanted to form closer alliances with humans, while others argued for restricting human expansion once the war ended. Samantha Reeves discovered that the Triluri were secretly developing weapons that could target human biology specifically. They claimed it was just a precaution, in case humans became aggressive after defeating the Draviks. They're planning to stab us in the back, she told Greg Martinez. After we save them. Greg looked troubled. Can you blame them? In a few months, we've accomplished what they couldn't do in years of fighting. We're showing them how weak they are. That's terrifying. On the front lines, the human soldiers continued to push back the Draviks' forces. With each victory, the galaxy's balance of power shifted. The Draviks were losing ground for the first time in the war. But the greatest challenge was still to come. The Draviks were preparing something special for the humans, a weapon designed to target what they believed was humanity's only weakness. The warning came too late. By the time human intelligence officers decoded the Draviks' message, the attack had already begun. Biological weapon deployed to human base on Xeris Prime, Samantha Reeves told the emergency meeting. They're specifically targeting human DNA. Within hours, reports came in from the planet's surface. Human soldiers were falling ill with high fevers, skin rashes, and breathing problems. The alien doctors looked on helplessly. They had no experience with human biology. "How many affected?" asked President Mitchell from Earth. "Over 300 soldiers," reported Captain Delgado, his face pale and sweaty on the video screen, "including me." The Draviks had launched their desperate plan. Unable to defeat humans in conventional battle, they had engineered a virus deadly to human biology. They believed this would be humanity's downfall, that humans, while physically tough, would be as vulnerable to disease as any species. What the Draviks didn't understand was that disease had shaped human evolution more than any other factor. The human immune system was the product of thousands of years of fighting countless pathogens on Earth. "Send human doctors," ordered Admiral Rodriguez, "and tell them to bring everything they have." Dr. Lisa Foster, Earth's leading expert on viral diseases, arrived on Xeris Prime with a team of medical specialists. They quickly set up a field hospital and began treating the sick soldiers. "This virus is nasty," Dr. Foster told the Confederation medical team. "But it's not unlike diseases we've seen on Earth. We can fight this." The aliens watched in amazement as the human doctors worked. They took blood samples, developed treatments, and moved quickly to contain the outbreak. Most surprising to the aliens was that the sick humans didn't just lie down and wait to die. They fought the disease. Major Ryan Cooper was one of the first to get sick and one of the first to recover. 3 days after being unable to stand, he was back on his feet, still weak but improving rapidly. "How is this possible?" asked Commander Ziv. "The disease was designed to destroy your cellular structure. Human bodies adapt," Ryan explained simply. "Our immune systems learn to fight new threats. It's what we do." Within a week, most of the sick humans were recovering. Some were even returning to duty. The Draviks' plan had failed. Instead of wiping out the humans, it had only made them angry. Major Cooper, still recovering from the bioweapon, led the counterattack. "They hit us with their best shot," he told his team. "Now it's our turn." The human forces, supported by Confederation technology, pushed deep into Dravik's territory. The enemy, shocked that their biological weapon had failed, fell back in disarray. For the first time, the humans captured a Dravik's command center intact. Inside, they made a discovery that changed everything. The Dravik's home planet was classified as Class 10, harsh by Confederation standards, but far less extreme than Earth. The Draviks had conquered through advanced technology and ruthless tactics, not physical superiority. "They're not that different from the other alien species," Ryan told his team as they examined the Draviks' records. "They just developed weapons instead of art. They chose conquest instead of cooperation." The most important discovery was the Draviks' battle plan. They had believed humans were an aberration, a mistake of evolution that needed to be eliminated before they spread through the galaxy. The Draviks had seen humans as a threat not just to their empire, but to their understanding of the universe itself. Meanwhile, back in the Confederation, Security Director Vanessa Russell had discovered troubling information. Certain Confederation species were making plans for after the war, plans that involved restricting humans to their solar system or worse. "They're afraid of us," she told Samantha Reeves over a secure channel. "Some believe we're as dangerous as the Draviks, just in a different way." Samantha wasn't surprised. They invited a Deathworld species to join the galactic community. Now they're worried about the consequences. As the war turned in the Confederation's favor, humanity faced a new challenge, convincing the galaxy that they weren't just useful monsters, but valuable allies worth keeping around after the fighting stopped. Ambassador Peter Sullivan stood before the Confederation Council. The huge chamber was filled with representatives from hundreds of alien species, all watching the human with a mix of fear and respect. 6 months of human involvement in the war had changed everything. The Draviks were on the run, but questions about humanity's place in the galaxy remained. "We know what you're planning," Peter said calmly. We know some of you want to contain us after the war. You think we're too dangerous to be allowed free access to the stars." The chamber erupted in shocked whispers. The Trilari representative stood up angrily. "How did you learn of private council discussions?" Peter smiled. "We're good at finding things out. It's another skill you develop on a death world." He walked to the center of the chamber and activated a holographic display. It showed images of Earth, its oceans, mountains, deserts, and jungles. It showed humans living in every environment, from the freezing Arctic to the burning deserts. "You fear us because we're different," Peter continued. "We evolved on a world that should have killed us. Instead, it made us strong. But strength doesn't have to be used for destruction." He showed new images: human doctors treating alien children, human engineers helping rebuild worlds damaged by the Draviks, human scientists working alongside alien researchers. "Earth isn't just home to humans," Peter explained. "Our planet has millions of different species, all evolving in the same harsh conditions. We understand diversity better than anyone." Then came his biggest revelation. He showed images of human colonies already established on worlds the Confederation had classified as uninhabitable. "While you were planning to contain us, we were already exploring," Peter said. "We can live on worlds no other species can survive on. We don't need to take your comfortable planets. We can build on the ones you can't use." The council was stunned. The idea that humans could colonize worlds considered deadly changed everything. It meant humans weren't a threat to other species' territories, but could expand into areas no one else wanted. Meanwhile, on the front lines, the final battle against the Draviks was beginning. The Draviks had retreated to their home system and made a surprising offer. They would ally with humans against the Confederation, sharing their advanced technology if humans would help them conquer the galaxy. Captain Joseph Winters led the human diplomatic team that met with the Draviks leaders. "We decline your offer," he told them simply, "but we can offer you peace." The terms were fair. The Draviks would keep their home system but surrender all conquered territories. They would disarm their military fleets but could continue to develop as a civilization. "Why not destroy us?" asked the Draviks leader, confused by human mercy. "Because that's not who we want to be," Joseph answered. The final battle took place above the Draviks' homeworld. Commander Isabel Ramirez led a joint human Confederation fleet. The humans provided the fighting strength while the aliens contributed their advanced technology. Together, they were unstoppable. When it was over and the Draviks surrendered, a new understanding began to emerge throughout the galaxy. The Confederation realized that true strength came not just from technology, but from the ability to adapt and overcome challenges, something humans had mastered through their evolution on Earth. Earth was officially reclassified in the galactic database, no longer just Class 13 Deathworld. It was now labeled the Cradle of Resilience, a harsh but magnificent world that had created a species unlike any other in the galaxy. Human scientists began programs to help other species slowly increase their environmental tolerances. Human doctors shared techniques to strengthen immune systems, and human diplomats worked to build true understanding between Earth and the stars. "We didn't evolve to conquer the galaxy," President Mitchell told the Confederation Council at the signing of the new treaty. "We evolved to survive. Now we want to help others do the same." As the first wave of non-human visitors prepared to visit Earth, wearing special suits to protect them from what humans considered a normal environment, the galaxy had learned an important lesson. Never underestimate a species that calls a death world home.